I'm just gonna jump right in.
Jump in. Get on it. Oh, did you ever buy that shirt?
Hello and welcome to Way Too Broad, a place for friends to talk about the things that they were really, really ridiculously excited about. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hey, Hannah. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hello, Erin and Hannah.
I want to put a caveat just right at the front of this episode, which is we're recording later than we've ever recorded on a Friday night.
Unprecedented.
Ben just woke up from a nap.
It was catnap.
I would like to thank the Academy for accommodating my schedule.
The Academy says you're welcome.
Thank
we
you.
the Academy?
You are.
Sweet. I've always wanted to be part of the Academy.
The Cat Academy.
Love cats. I almost had to let Jack be in here because he just couldn't stand to leave.
You know, every time I record the pod, Henry Brown, my dog, lies in the dark in the room closest to where I record, aka my studio, henceforth known as my studio. And it's really sad. And so this time I have the door open, and so I will be accepting Henry Dog visitors, so you might catch a glimpse.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, pets all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna crack.
I'm currently waving a toy around so that Como doesn't jump up on my laptop.
That sounds like a great
You
way
have the
to
most
get
perilous-
him to jump up on your
Yeah.
laptop. I don't know
No,
much
it's-
about cats.
If I don't entertain him otherwise, he jumps up and demands entertainment from me by sitting on my computer. So I have to
Guys-
wave a toy around on the ground.
Excuse me, I have to interrupt because I have a surprise terminology in.
Way, yay! Way!
Way!
Weow!
Yeah. Today, I said, we should go to Target. And Ian said, yeah, we should go to Greg Foods Market. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. Let's go to Greg Foods Market. And I was just like, it's Target. And we went back and forth like that for a long time. And then finally we got in the car to go to Target. And I was like, so when we get to Target, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, sorry, I'm just learning to adopt your terminology. Sure, when we get to Target, we'll do this. And like kept it going all the way till we got there, and I asked him to spell Greg Foods Market and he fucked up spelling it, so he gave it up. But here's an interesting fact that I learned from this interaction with my husband. If you Google the term Greg Foods Market with one G, Whole
Wait,
Foods Market is the first thing that comes up, and it comes up like with a badge and everything.
1G at the beginning or the end?
Both.
Nice.
You-
Fucking got
Oh,
it.
I get it. Look, I googled Greg Foods Market,
Oh,
and
look at that.
the like Google
Oh.
thing for Whole Foods comes up.
Your phone doesn't know anything about Greg Foods Market. I feel like it should be Greg 2Gs, though. Well, 3, if we're being technical, according to my technicalities.
No, it should be 2.
Greg 2Gs at the end.
I need you. Yeah, that is how he spelled it. Yeah, but if you Google GREGG Foods Market, you just get the LinkedIn of some guy who works at Whole Foods Market.
You get the hit for Target.
Yeah, right. So that's my story.
Oh,
for
the
you.
difference a
good
G
story.
can make.
Yeah, that's a pretty remarkable. That's a pretty remarkable thing.
Which part?
The
The
difference
just
a
the
G
whole
can
thing.
make. You just,
Oh,
it's a miracle. Target. I feel like they should just collect $100 at the door. It's kind of my thing with Target. You know what I mean? And or an additional $100 an hour that you're in there. I feel like that's the kind of the rate.
Do you have a Target nearby to you?
Yeah, I have a Target that's Gosh, I'm going to say 15 to 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay. We have one that's 2 minutes away.
Oh. So no. Yeah. Can I answer this question again? Ask it again.
Do you have a Target that's nearby to you?
No.
So we've learned to resist. I basically I'm in Target so much that I know how frequently they turn over certain things. I just get this the second I walk in the door, I get this sixth sense that okay, I don't think I need to check this clearance section, but I should definitely go back to the back because I haven't been there in 2 weeks. And I just have a whole thing that happens where I just know I practically work there basically.
I definitely shop at Target enough that I ran into Target the other day and was like, okay, I have a Target jacket on and Target sunglasses on. And it's like if I had to run an errand to an Old Navy and a Target in the same day, I would just be wearing exclusively items from both places. And it would just be awkward. In that way, that is awkward when you're dressed in an entire wardrobe of a store that you're going in.
Yeah, and you're is someone gonna think I'm trying to steal
and the whole time you're see, but I wore this and I washed it, but so I'm not stealing it. You smell it, it smells like my home soap.
Belly button.
Okay, for context for that joke, we had a long family-only discussion about our belly buttons before we started recording, and it was too bad because there was some gold nuggets.
Smelly buttons.
It's sad that we weren't recording because there were some nuggets in Ben's belly button. JK.
It's just so gross. These two, listen, just suffice to say, these two are nasty, and I'm not. I'm very clean.
That's not true. Is it because you regularly stick a Q-tip deep down inside of your belly button, Hannah?
No, maybe I just have a shallow belly button. I don't know.
I think not. I think your laparoscopic doctor would beg to differ.
The laparoscopter. That sounds dirty, but it's not.
I primarily went to Target, the one in Boston that was near me when I lived on campus, to get alcohol.
Oh.
That was the only reason I went there.
Could you buy liquor there?
Yeah.
Or just beer and wine?
In most of Massachusetts, you can only buy liquor at liquor stores, but Boston has allows them in other stores.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
Only Boston. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a time I've ever seen alcohol in a Greg Foods market.
Yeah, it's word.
I have beer and wine in my Greg Foods market.
Oh.
They also are they still doing you would know this, Hannah. Are they still doing the exclusive Ben and Jerry's flavors at Target?
Yeah.
At Greg Foods market?
Oh, really?
I love Peanut Butter World. Peanut Butter World is my jam.
Nice.
Peanut Butter World.
Peanut Butter World. Peanut Butter World?
Peanut Butter World. It's great. It's got peanut butter worlds. It's got peanut butter worlds. It's got peanut butter worlds. It's got peanut butter and cookies.
What's everybody drinking?
Okay. Well, I started the night off with wine, and now I stopped drinking wine, and now I'm drinking half-calf coffee.
Oh, okay.
I got word.
Do you mean wine?
Huh?
Gwine?
Gwine?
Is gwine the same as wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
But with a G on the front of it. Just one G. Ben's drinking water.
Yeah.
Water.
With ice.
With
ice.
I'm drinking beer.
Beer. What kind of beer are you drinking?
It's a Imperial India Pale Ale. It's called Fata Morgana. And it's got a really cool can with a sunset on it.
That is really
That's
nice.
pretty.
Really. I like
That's so pretty.
that beer name is really interesting. Like your bartender's like, yeah, we've got on tap.
It's really hard to read.
In general? I can't see that at all.
Yeah, I don't know what you
And
think we're getting from that.
Did you...
Yes. No, the font is really hard to read.
I'm sure it is, but that didn't show us anything.
It's fine. It's dark in here.
Do you have the podcast candle lit? Is that why it...
No, I do.
Okay.
It's just not shining very brightly
Oh.
tonight. I hope that's not an
Our
omen of
You guys, it
podcast
snowed
is shining
today.
so bright. What the fuck?
Mhm.
Yeah, isn't
I
that
wore
weird?
short
Sure did.
sleeves
It snowed
today.
a lot.
I wore short sleeves today in the sunshine.
It snowed and rained, and the temperature
Ew.
fluctuated by like 10 degrees.
Gross. Global warming is upon us, not to dampen the mood. Not to snow
Hey.
in the mood.
Dampen it, baby.
There was a day last week when it snowed enough during like the morning and like till the kind of early afternoon maybe that there were like several inches of like very fluffy snow on every surface. It looked like it was like a fucking marshmallow wonderland out there. And then by the time I left work at like 6:00, there was no trace. It was just all gone.
Gone without a trace.
Yeah.
Somebody came and ate all the marshmallows.
Yeah. They're very sick.
They have a tummy ache. And their belly button probably is very stinky. Hard to keep that shit clean.
Do you think it's food leaking out? Is that what you're theorizing?
No, just in general, all that sugar.
Yeah. Ben, tell us about your laundromat superpower.
Oh, thank you. This is something I've been meaning to mention on the podcast for like weeks now because I get really excited about it every time I do my laundry, and Kylie never thinks it's as cool as I do.
We're gonna think it's so cool. I can't wait.
So the washers at our laundromat cost $2.50. So you need to pull out 10 quarters, right? And
Yeah.
I have this
That
amazing ability where, so we have this like yogurt container that we carry all of our quarters for laundry in. I have an amazing ability where I can just reach in and pull out exactly 10 quarters every time.
Whoa.
Like
Oh, you got a
every
10
single
quarter hand.
time. And like this is like I've been literally thinking for weeks that I want to talk about this on podcast because it's really exciting to me. And it's like it hasn't gone away in those weeks. Like every single time. Sometimes I'm off by like 1 quarter, but pretty much every time I pull out like exactly 10.
It's 10 quarter Ben.
It sort of is. You just said every single time, and then you're like, sometimes I'm off by 1 quarter.
Yeah, that's not that much.
That's
And
a
it's like,
single time, though.
More
That's
often
a
than
single
not.
time.
More often than not, it's exactly 10.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
great. You got a 10 quarter hand.
Yeah, I got a 10 quarter hand.
Congratulate you.
Yeah. I've always really thought that about you. It's a hard judge. You're like 9 or 10, somewhere in there.
Sometimes 9.
Yeah.
Sometimes 11. Usually 10.
On average 10.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, oh, I want to get you mittens for Christmas. What size are you? And you're like, oh, about like 10 quarters. Pretty exactly on average. Is statistically, significantly 10 quarters. I'd say.
Statistically significant.
Very low standard deviation. Average 10 quarters.
Have I told you guys my dime story?
No.
No.
Speaking of remarkable coins, I used to have a collection of dimes. And I say used to because we had a break-in and somebody stole my collection of dimes, which is just rude, I think. And I kind of lost steam to start it up again, but I'm thinking about it. Because dimes, it's like the coin that you don't really care about. You're like more into them than nickels, but you're still kind of like, whatever, you just have dimes lying around. But somebody told me once that a gallon of dimes is $1,000. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, you don't really think about dimes. Why don't I just collect dimes into a gallon jug and see what happens sometime? So I had a really nice collection of dimes going. And one time I was like, I'm going to count this and see how much I had. Well, I'm going to stop in the story at this point. So I'm driving with my friend, different time. I'm driving with my best friend, and she's telling me about this new electric kettle that she bought. And she was like, it's so great. I really wish I had bought it before. She said, if I had a dime for every time I wanted an electric kettle, I'd have $40 in dimes. But that was the day I counted my dime collection, and I had $40 in dimes. And I'm driving, and she says this, and I say, I have $40 in dimes. And she goes, what? And I'm like, I have $40 in dimes. But I was like so excited about it, and she's like so confused. She's like, what? And I was like, I have $40 in dimes. And we're just driving, and I'm like laughing, and I like can't see the road because I have like tears in my eyes. But how random is that? The day that somebody in my life, the only time in my whole entire life
for her to pick.
Anyway. I know. The only time in my whole entire life that somebody decided to say to me if I had $40 in dimes was the same day I had counted my dime collection to discover that I had $40 in dimes.
Was it $40 even?
I don't fucking know, Hannah. It was probably $40.10. Okay?
No, it's funny. It's crazy because like the expression is if I had a nickel, right? So like she not only did she give this number that was accurate to what you have, but she like altered the expression to do so.
I think we're in some way like unhelpfully psychically connected. Like I have another story where we hadn't seen each other in a few months, and we're standing listening to somebody else talk, and we're listening to her husband talk, and he mentions ramen noodles in passing. And at the same time, we turn to each other and say at the same time, I love ramen noodles. And then we laugh. And then we go back listening to the story and turn back at the exact same time and say at the exact same time, they're so salty. And then we turn back to the conversation, and then we turn to each other again and say at the same time, we should make some tonight. So
that's creepy.
I think we have some sort of like weird, unhelpful, like psychic link around certain insignificant areas of our life.
Coins and noodles.
So anyway, those are my stories.
That's great.
Those are my
Very
stories.
Good. I had one other thing, but it's kind of related to what I think I want to talk about.
Don't
for
call
my
me
obsession. Butt. I don't know. This beer's like 8%. I feel like I'm already.
Shit.
We went out for sushi tonight. It was so nice.
Oh, that's nice.
I love sushi.
Are you and Ian sushi compatible, and are you and Kylie sushi compatible, Ben?
Hannah, you go first.
Well, I think she was asking Ben if you and Ian are sushi compatible. Because she didn't actually mention my name at any point, so.
Okay. Don't be a butt. You just said that yourself.
All right.
Take your own advice.
Ian and I don't really eat sushi with any kind of meat. I mostly eat avocado rolls. Okay. So I only eat avocado rolls, basically. So, like...
I mostly only eat avocado. I only eat, basically. Like, what do you eat?
Well, like, I'll eat, like, avocado, cucumber, or peanut avocado sometimes. But those are still avocado rolls. Yeah, they are. Or, like, if I'm feeling really crazy, I might get, like, a tempura sweet potato roll. Oh. But, today, actually, so I'm not, like, this is gonna come off as sort of insensitive culturally, but our waiter, I was having a slight bit of trouble understanding him and like what message he was trying to get across. So when I ordered 3 avocado rolls and he said to me, there's like 6 pieces per avocado roll. And I was like, okay. And he's like, it's like a little thing. There's 6 pieces. So I thought he was telling me maybe 3 avocado rolls wouldn't be enough. So I was like, you make it 4 avocado rolls? And then he was like, okay. And he like, I thought I heard him saying wow when he walked away. But like, then when the avocado rolls came and he put them down on the table, he was like, you really like avocado, huh? I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't know what to say because technically it wasn't inaccurate, but like I felt like he had goaded me into ordering another avocado roll. But I don't know. I ate most of them.
What is his angle?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
I was just confused. But yeah, and Ian gets other stuff, so we don't touch each other's usually. He'll usually have like one of mine and I'll have none of his. So if you call that compatible,
yeah,
then yes.
If you're both happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. What about you, Ben and Kylie?
We're in a similar story where Kylie only really likes the sweet potato tempura and I think the avocado rolls too. Her main thing is she doesn't like seaweed at all. She really doesn't like seaweed. And I love seaweed.
That's a problematic position to be in if you're a sushi eater.
Yeah. So I like a lot of sushi. The most recent one I tried was eel, which is really good.
Ian likes eel.
So Molly and I are 100% sushi compatible in every way. Like we can get a mess ton of sushi and split it all, except she doesn't like eel, and I love eel.
Oh, so good.
I know.
It's the best.
Ian likes eel. I think it's his favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I think my favorite is spicy tuna rolls.
Oh, that's a good one. I like spicy tuna. I like spicy spicy salmon. I love yellowtail scallion. That's a good one.
I don't think I've had that.
Oh,
I try to try a new one every time. I haven't had that much sushi because I didn't actually try sushi until I went to Japan. And I had sushi there.
That's the place to do it.
Yeah, and it was really good. And so I learned that I liked it there, and so I started having it at places in Boston too. So I still haven't tried. I never liked fish that much, which you hear a lot of people say they don't like fish, but they like sushi. I'm one of those people. But I need to keep like trying more and more because I keep having this thing where like, it's fish. But I learned to get over it, you know?
Yeah.
Sushi.
I mean, I say yeah, but I love fish, but I'm saying yeah because I can like understand you, even though I don't relate to you.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
That's fucking empathy, you know?
That's what this podcast is all about, is building bridges.
You know where I am with sushi is like, I like, obviously like really fancy, nice sushi, can really appreciate that. But I'm also like, our favorite sushi place is like, it's like pretty good sushi. It's like, I'd call it okay sushi. But it's at like the perfect price. It's got like, so it's either got to be, I'm either like paying a lot of money for like a really crazy and nice sushi dinner. Mm-hmm. Or, right, like Hero dreams of sushi, is that what you're saying?
Jiro.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
My apologies. Or it's like the everyday sushi. Not the everyday, but like the every week sushi. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. Like there's a place we can get like as much sushi as can fit in our little baby bellies for like $26. And like that includes like a side salad. And that's like what I'm on about. Not per person. Yeah, that's what
we went to we took our dad out to an all-you-can-eat sushi place in Boston for his, I think it was his birthday this past year. Maybe it was Father's Day, I don't know. But it was really, really good. And I think it was like around $20 or $25 per person, all-you-can-eat sushi. Which is it was a good price, and it was actually pretty good sushi too.
That's a good price. That's not what I'm talking about, but that sounds great.
Yeah, it is great.
Do you guys ever make sushi?
We have we've made it like not fish. We made sweet potato and avocado sushi.
I made it one time. Oh. We both made it one time.
I couldn't get the rolls super tight.
It's hard to get
all of ours are real
tight.
thick.
I still crave that sushi rice like regularly.
Oh, it's
like,
so good.
That's good.
I would make that sushi rice just to eat it.
You could do it.
I know.
Sushi rice, yellow rice. It's just
love yellow rice. I love rice.
What? It's
a
just
rice
like
world.
rice vinegar and sugar that you add to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's so
but you
good.
have to like melt. You have to like spread it, melt the shit, and then you have to like spreid out the other shit, and then you
I
have
don't
to
think there's shit in it at all.
shit into the shit.
The time I made sushi, I might have done it twice. It was like a lot of work, and then you got like less sushi than you like to eat, and it was like thick, and then I was just like,
and it was just like I wish I'd gone and bought sushi somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I just spent all this time, and you probably spent a lot of money buying all that shit.
Did you make it with fish, or did you make like vegetable sushi?
I might have done, probably fish, maybe smoked salmon even.
Because that's the thing is, if you want like real nigiri, you need like high quality raw fish to make it, and I don't feel like dealing with getting my hands on that and not like cutting it up properly and shit.
I mean, yeah, it's really hard to find stuff like that in Boston.
It's hard to get your 10-quarter hands on that.
No, I made it, you know, it actually was pretty fun, and I think I would have really hated it if I was just doing it at home, but I made it with a bunch of my friends. The only problem with that was that the sushi rice got made pretty early on, and then by the time that we needed the sushi rice to all make sushi, there was not as much as there should have been, because we were all picking at it, because it's so delicious. But, should we get into it?
Yarsh.
Get into it.
Great chats, great pre-segments about Target and sushi.
And Greg's Food Market.
Greg Foods Market. So, Ben's up first.
Cool.
Cool. Hi,
So
Ben.
I guess you want to hear about my thing then, huh?
Welcome to Way Too Broad.
Sort of.
You, Ben.
I have another podcast this week.
Oh.
It's a
Wait,
new
you're on
one.
another podcast? You're cheating on us with another podcast?
No, I'm not on it. It's just what I'm listening to. It's like brand new.
Oh.
And I bet Hannah already knows about it. It's called Threedom.
I do know about it.
Hannah.
It's so good. So
Tell Erin all about it.
yeah, I will. So, as you know, one of the podcasts that I love the most, I would say, second to Way Too Broad. My favorite podcast is Comedy Bang Bang.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few guests when I like look at the description of the episode who like when I see their name I'm like, holy shit, I know right away this is going to be a really good one. And two of them are Paul F. Tompkins and Lauren Lapkus. Who also... Why
does her name sound familiar to me?
Who?
Lauren Lapkus.
Lauren Lapkus. She's been in...
She's in Crashing.
Yeah.
She plays the ex-wife in Crashing.
Okay.
And she was in Jurassic World.
She was?
Yeah. She was like the nerd person like in the like command room.
She's actually both of them, Paul F. Tompkins and Lauren Lapkus. I guess this isn't surprising considering what they're known for on Comedy Bang Bang are really good character actors that work pretty consistently.
Yeah.
I'm going to look
out
her
in
up.
Hollywood. In Hollyweird.
Yep. But so they also, those two went on tour with Scott Aukerman when they did the Comedy Bang Bang tour last year or 2 years ago.
Okay,
And
I know this woman.
yeah, she's very funny. I like her a lot. Her podcast is really good too. And apparently, while they were on tour, like between shows, they just had so much fun being around each other and just like having funny conversations that, and actually apparently it's the idea of another like guest they had along with them who like wasn't with them the whole tour. His name is Mike Hanford, but he was with them for like a few shows. And he said that like he really enjoyed just watching those three talk to each other for like a long period of time because they were so funny together. And so they wanted to make a show out of it. And there's like no structure to it. There's no like segments or anything. And also normally on Comedy Bang Bang Paul F. Tompkins and Lauren Lapkus are playing characters, and none of the people are playing characters. It's just like 3 really funny friends enjoying each other's company for like an hour.
That sounds like a very familiar premise.
Maybe that's why I like it so much.
Way too broad.
Way too broad.
Way too broad.
Way too broad.
Threedom.
Threedom, way too broad. I know her from The Guard in Orange is the New Black.
Oh,
yes.
Of course.
Yeah, that's where I know her face. That's where I know her face.
She's wonderful in that.
Yeah.
One thing about the first episode.
Yeah.
I have 2 things to say. The first thing is, in the first episode, it was a little bit annoying, and they couldn't have edited around it, so I don't blame them for this, but it was a little bit annoying how they spent the entire episode trying to decide what the name was, but then also they went with the first idea they had, and we all already knew what the name was because we fucking downloaded the podcast.
Like, it was the first thing Lauren said as a suggestion. She's like, I think we should call it Threedom.
Yeah.
And then they talked for like an hour about different names.
But is there just 2 of them?
No, there's 3 of them.
I'm sorry.
No. You
Scott
didn't mention Scott
Aukerman,
Aukerman.
Paul F. Tompkins, and Lauren Lapkus.
Okay.
Scott Aukerman is the host of Comedy Bang Bang.
Here's Henry, by the way. He came in to visit.
As
the fates foretold.
I saw his eyeball.
Yeah, sweet boy.
So I'm guessing you haven't listened to the second episode yet, Hannah, because they still don't know the name of the show by the second episode.
I haven't, and isn't it behind a paywall? Don't you have to get Stitcher Premium?
It's on Stitcher Premium, but you can get a month free with their code Threedom, I think.
Oh, well, I'm going to wait till they have more
episodes
then.
Yeah, the first episode's also on like all 3 of their
savvy.
respective podcast feeds.
Thank you.
I actually been taking a bit, because also when you get Stitcher Premium, you get access to like a bunch of old Comedy Bang Bang episodes that are behind the paywall. And so I've been taking advantage of that, listening to like some of the first...
Parks and Procreation?
No, those are actually, since Harris Fiddles died, they've made all of those available for free.
On the free.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, which is really cool. I've listened to like some of the first episodes, like literally the first episode I listened to today. And it was really, cool. It was a radio show when it started. It was really interesting. But it was still funny.
So this isn't like a iTunes podcast? Threefold?
Threefold. Did you say threefold? Threedom.
I don't know. I think probably not, because it's paid. Because it's paid for through Stitcher Premium, which I have to say is Stitcher is a kind of shitty app.
That's the thing. I never liked Stitcher non-premium, so I'm not really interested in paying for it. Like, and also like I'm skeptical that any podcast is gonna like really build a big audience without being on iTunes. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't know. They're definitely making a play, and if they can do it, that's great.
Well, and it seems like they weren't planning on it being behind a paywall, because they like take ad breaks, but they aren't actually ads. They just like play the theme song for a couple seconds and come right back. So I feel like maybe they weren't originally planning on it being behind a paywall, and then maybe they like didn't have room in the main cast of Earwolf shows.
Maybe. I don't know. The other thing, there's been drama in the podcasting world lately. I don't know if you guys are aware.
Oh.
Yeah. So are you, have you ever heard at the end of any podcast you listen to, have you ever heard Feral Audio?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
End of it? Okay. The Feral Audio Podcast Network has been like shut down.
Oh.
Unceremoniously shut down.
Is that why the Doughboys moved to Patreon or something? Weren't they on Feral?
Probably. There were a lot of like, I think My Favorite Murder was already off of it, but they used to be on there.
Molly's
Chelsea
really
Peretti's.
into that podcast.
Who?
Molly.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Why did Feral Audio get shut down? And what do you mean they got shut down?
The person, his name's Matt something, who like created the network, got into some hot water for some kind of something came out about him and an ex-girlfriend. I don't know if it was abuse or if it was like sexual harassment.
Dustin Marshall is his name.
Oh, that's not what I said at all.
You said
Matt something.
Well, you got the M for the last name.
That's very generous. Thank you, Ben. So he decided to shut down the network so that the stuff against him, and I think he also issued an apology for it, probably not a good one, so that their name wouldn't be linked with like his name, and he didn't believe that the brand Feral Audio could ever be like disentangled from his own name and reputation.
Wow, he just continued to be a dick, huh?
Yeah, he could have just like stepped down. Although I don't know how big an operation it really was, honestly. Like it could have been mostly him that was running any of it. Emotional abuse.
Oh, that's what Harmontown was on
abuse. Too. Yeah, Call Chelsea Peretti was what I was trying to talk about. Was on there too.
If you go to their website, there's a really interesting blurb on their front page that one of you should read.
Oh, hang on.
At Feral Audio's website.
Also, speaking of Chelsea Peretti, she was on an episode of Comedy Bang Bang, I think, last week, and it was so fucking good.
That's where I heard about it, because she was talking about, like, oh, I guess I don't have a podcast network anymore. But yeah, you've been seeing, like, lots of podcasts, like, popping up all of a sudden on other networks, and I'm pretty sure that this is why. Okay, I found it. Should I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Feral Audio was the greatest podcast network that will ever exist. It lived on the internet. Founded May 14th, 2012 by Dustin Marshall and Stig Grev on $0. Destroyed January 1st, 2018 by Dustin Marshall on $0. It went from indie podcast collective to one of the biggest podcast networks in the world. It was a whole thing. You had to be there. After housing and creating the best podcast for over half a decade with complete independence, all that remains are these super dramatic shirts, hoodies, stickers, tank tops, long sleeves, baseball tees, kids apparel, a baby onesie with an actual cat skull on it, wall art, notebooks, mugs, and pillows. Help fund our next great thing while mourning the greatest podcast network ever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Is that...
So you can still give them money if you want to do that. That seems like not in the spirit of apology for anything.
Is this at all related to Rhea Butcher and Cameron Esposito moving their podcast to Earwolf? Because I just happened to, like, both Cameron Esposito moved to Query, and then they moved Put Your Hands Together recently, both to Earwolf.
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, I think it was because there's a Feral Audio page for Put Your Hands Together.
Oh, there you go. I've been meaning to listen to that podcast. Not that I'm a good podcast listener. I can barely freaking listen to Way Too Broad and So Dreamy. Owie.
I have a little pimple on my butt cheek, and sometimes if I sit the wrong way, it hurts.
How much?
Way too broad.
How much does it gross you out to think about it compared to sitting on all your freaking arteries that you're doing right now? All your veins. All your veins are pushing into your pimple.
No.
Very cool.
It's so rude. All right. So you Threedom.
Yeah, highly recommend. Very good show. Very funny people.
Very funny people. Seem to be nice and good.
Yeah.
It's a fun dynamic because like they all like to kind of play off each other and also kind of dominate the conversation.
Yes.
Like
a lot of crosstalk.
It's like it's two dudes and a lady, but the lady is like very much a very aggressive.
Yes.
Lauren Lapkus is a very aggressive performer, which is great. And also she's a lot younger than they are.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much younger. She's like
neither,
almost 20 years younger than
Wow.
Paula Tompkins.
Yeah. But they're all very like, whoa. Everything's weird on my screen.
Are you okay?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm fine. The Google Hangout went weird.
You startle easy.
Like we went over a bump.
Yeah, when you're driving, Hannah, here's something that you should know. If there looks like there's going to be any change in elevation at all, any bump, anything, you should announce it because she'll just scream.
That's like our mom.
Yeah.
She screams at the slightest, like, stop.
I know. It's also in movies and stuff too, I have to admit. Yeah. I'm not unlike Mom in that way.
Shout out to Aunt Brown.
Shout out to Aunt Brown. Mom. Okay, well, Threedom. Check it out. Very good fun.
I feel like you were in the middle of a train of thought before you got cut off by the Hangout being weird and you never got back on it.
I don't know.
It was related to Lauren Lapkus being a strong performer, but being a lot younger than the other two.
Oh, yeah, being a lot younger. But
she's only like 3 years older than us, I think, Erin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I was just saying, like, even though there's this age gap, there's none of this, like, there's none respect, lost or gained over it. They're all just, like, good friends who respect each other a lot, which is nice.
Can I say something quick about Aunt Brown that I want you to cut out?
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess she texted me earlier this week and said, "Hi, Erin. Do you have an email address?"
What? Okay, sorry. Continue. What did you do? Did you say anything?
Please tell me you sassed her in some way.
I didn't.
Oh, you should have.
I sent her my email address.
Because she texted me the same thing.
Do you have an email address? Who doesn't have an email address?
I know. She
wrote late great grandmother, not great grandmother. Our late grandmother, who's wonderful, had a freaking email address.
Hang on. I know exactly. You can't see that.
Okay, thanks. Why don't you just read it? Hey, does Erin have an email address? I have an email address.
I just wrote back yes.
Did she say I'm the new president? What does this say?
It says, okay, thanks. I'm the new president of the Email Information League. We're starting a database that tracks whether someone has an email address. This was very helpful.
Why wouldn't I have an email address? I'm a web developer, for Christ's sake.
I know.
I make websites. I make websites. The current thing I'm doing is actually making a Chrome extension that works in your Gmail. Like, it's like, that's how much I have an email address.
I don't want to. Do I have to cut this out? Because it's very funny. I think she'd appreciate it.
Okay, I just wanted to say, if Hannah leaves this in, all my respect to Aunt Brown. I knew that you just wanted my email address. I just thought that the phrasing was funny.
She just didn't want to be presumptuous.
I appreciate that. She
feel
just
bad.
lets me be me. She just didn't want room. It's like asking your pronouns, even if it's like a pretty obvious, It's considerate.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's my turn.
Good segment, Ben.
Thanks.
Great segment, Ben. Great podcast. Everyone, wait a few more weeks and then get your free thing. You can listen to the first episode on
Let's get your free thing. Okay.
Get your free thing.
Just wait a couple weeks to get your free thing. It's like, if you have an email address, plug it in and get your free thing.
Ben will explain it later.
Yeah.
So, my thing is money for nothing.
I don't know what you
And
mean by
your
that.
Kicks for free?
Who
Who's eating a pretzel?
do you think, Erin? Who's the only person you can't see?
It's ice. And I meant to mute myself. I apologize.
My apologies to the chef.
It sounded like a pretzel.
My apologies to the chef.
I could have sworn it was a pretzel. I could hear a pretzel a mile away. I have a friend. I have a friend who claims that she can tell the difference between ice clinking in a glass of water and ice clinking in a gin and tonic. Isn't that funny? Yeah. We've done a blind test with her and she passed, is all I'm saying to you. That's all I'm saying to you.
Chance of passing,
I wonder if she was hearing the fizziness.
Good point. There's something I listened to once that was about like they played the sound of hot water pouring and the sound of cold water pouring, and those sounded different. You could hear a difference.
Kylie's grandfather could tell the color of an M&M by licking it with his eyes closed.
I could do that if it was red.
Really?
Is it bitter to you?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I got that thing.
Can't at all.
Okay. So the guy who was like, Kylie's grandfather can guess the M&M color by licking it, doesn't believe that my friend can't tell the difference between the sound of a gin and tonic ice cube.
I'm just repeating what I've been told. I never actually saw him do it.
Then you should have said allegedly.
Yeah.
Right. Can you add an alleged? Can you edit this? Allegedly.
Okay, let's get a clean. No, we gotta wait.
All right, everyone shut up. Allegedly. I tried to sound really like skeptical about it.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say to that M&M. Yeah, it did. Here's what I'll say to that M&M claim. That's M&M.
All right. So, do you want to know what my thing is or not?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a TV show from England. It's called Money for Nothing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And this woman who is just very friendly, she goes to the local dump.
Oh, all right.
And she, so I guess like the law is that you can't reclaim anything once it's actually been dumped into, they call it the tip. That's what they call the dump. I have so much fun English terminology to share with you guys this week.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah.
Because you're like tipping it in.
I guess. Yeah. But like there's all these different bins. It's very confusing. But if she can catch them between their car and the tip, then she can and they'll like give the stuff to her that they were going to throw away, then she's allowed to just take it and like salvage it and use it for other things. So what she does is she'll find 3 items per week per episode that she thinks could be reclaimed into something that's valuable, and then she'll hand 2 of them off to like expert craftsmen that she has relationships with in various different media, and she'll keep one for herself and try to like fix it up and sell it or do whatever she's going to do to it. And then when the items are sold, if they're sold, then she will take off whatever cost, whatever associated cost there was to fix the item up, and give all the profit to the people that were going to throw it away in the first place.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And there are so many things about it that are quite adorable. One of them is almost all of the craftsmen that she works with, because they're like recurring characters, are so much fun. There's this one that Ian and I are both particularly fond of. Her name is Bex, and she's a metal worker artist. She works in this big studio out in the country with her husband, but it's funny because like every time that she's in an episode, so is he, and they clearly work together consistently, but every time Bex is introduced first, and it's always like Bex blah 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 with the help of her husband, so like she's always like front and center, which I just like appreciate.
I love that.
Yeah, as someone who's seen it not be that way a lot. And then I mean, they say his name too. I think his name's Dave, but she's
hashtag
adorable.
Say his name.
Yeah. She's freaking adorable. She's like so cute. She's got like this kind of like raspy little voice. She's very little and skinny, but she always wears it. She's dressed like post-apocalyptic steampunky. She does all of her metalworking in this like fur hat that like is helping insulate her from the heat. And it's just super cute and adorable, and they're really funny together. This one time they had to the thing that she brought was something that's called a soil pipe, which I guess is like on older houses, or maybe in England, I don't know, there's like a pipe sometimes on the outside of a house where the waste from your toilet goes down that pipe to get to wherever it's going.
Gross.
Is that common? Yeah, but this one was like, it was like big and metal and on the outside of the house, and they replaced it.
You're like waiting for us to be like, ew. But you're like, I'll wait. Does that sound normal to you?
I just had never heard of it before. So
poop outside.
So they replaced it, and they had this. She was bringing this old one to the dump, and like it was funny. Like as the host was reclaiming it, she was like, "Oh, this seems like it hasn't been used recently. Has it not been used for a while?" And she's like, "No, it has." so then, like the whole time that they were working on it, they were just being really silly. And he was like, the husband Dave was like, "Did you smell it, the inside of it?" And Bex was like, "No." "Did you?" And then he's like, "Smell your hands." And she like freaked out. It was very cute and funny. There's this other guy who does like the more, like this one time she had to fix up, or she wanted to fix up an old radio, and so she got this guy who works on like tech and stuff, and he his nickname, God, I wrote it down. His nickname is Horse. That's what he's called.
Is his name Charlie?
Friends. I don't know, maybe. And so when they were talking
Horace?
about him, when the narrator was talking about him, what he said was, "Horse really knows his onions about electronics." And I died. Do you know that expression?
Yeah.
Knows your onions?
That's what the Shin song is based on.
That's the only point of reference I had, and I didn't.
I don't
know it
even
was an
have that
actual
frame
expression.
of reference.
And knowing your onions means like knowing your stuff in England, apparently, which I
Is it 'cause
love.
I think
Onions
it
have
means
layers?
that in America too.
No.
Oh,
Ning your
okay.
onions.
Sorry.
No.
Denied. You don't know your onions about this. Am I using it right?
Yeah. So, it's on Netflix, and it's really fun. Everybody should watch it.
Oh, cool.
And also, it's inspired us because Ian and I both like enjoy this sort of thing, like reclaiming stuff and redoing it, but we have not really had the space to pursue that since we moved into our tiny little house. So we're kind of starting. This is very preliminary. I just thought of it today, but we're kind of starting to look at if we could rent like a smallish like studio space of some kind. That we could use for this type of thing. Because like Ian's already basically having to do his taxes like he's a small business. So we're figuring we might as well like just start trying to be a small business because he's going to have to figure out how to do that shit anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That's neato.
yeah. It's cool. It's a really fun show. I enjoy it a lot. It's very neat. How many other ways can I say it's good?
Fantastic. It's really nice.
It's enjoyable.
It's got a lot of
Netflix. It makes my face do smiles.
a lot of pleasure in my brain area.
Yeah. So
Releases dopamine.
move along to Erin Brown.
Happy face when watching.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad I'm going last because I come to you today having no like consistent and unique obsession this week. I like just don't have a damn thing. I've racked my brain and I just don't have like one thing. Here's some things this week that I've been into. It is shocking because I think the part of the problem is I have some things that I have been into this week, but they've already been past obsessions, either mine or others. So some things I have been really into this week. Still on that French because I'm in the middle of my class. I have been listening to Janelle Monae's entire collection.
So good.
Which would be my obsession, but you already did that. So
Sorry.
she's a queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sorry, because I wouldn't have this obsession if I would have died never knowing her name.
Even though everyone else already did except for us, apparently.
The whole world. She collaborated with Prince twice. It's just
What?
we literally just didn't.
We just missed the whole boat.
We missed the entire Janelle Monae boat.
What the
Yeah, it was like we just never got on it.
We
were like
a
left
fucking freighter, and we didn't even see it.
Also,
were
at the
just-
end of that episode where we talked about or when Hannah talked about Janelle Monae, and you mentioned that she was in Hidden Figures. I forget if I had this realization on the episode or not. It took me like a while to realize that she was like one of the 3 main characters in Hidden Figures.
Yes. And now that I'm like thinking back, I was like, oh, she was in Hidden Figures. And I think if I had like run into her at that time, I would have been like, oh my gosh, your work in Hidden Figures was so good. But now I'm like, that's the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah.
She's a freaking artistic genius. Her albums are brilliant. A lot of these songs, I need to look into them to see. I'm like, I feel like she's my initial reaction is like, has she sampled other people's work in some of these songs, or are they so prevalent that I've heard these songs before? I know I have, and I'm like,
it's the latter.
Yeah,
Sure.
like the Of Montreal one that she did.
That one was wild. I also really want to watch
I was
that
like,
silent
I know
film.
this song.
Yeah, Metropolis.
Yeah.
I just love her. She's so good. And oh my gosh, one of my number one jams is What an Experience. Have you listened to that one? It's the penultimate song of Arcandroid. And it's no. It's
the
not.
Last song
It's
of
not.
Electric
It's the last
Lady.
song of Electric Lady.
Huh.
I don't
Yep.
remember it, but I'm sure I would recognize it. I don't really look
What
at the
an
song names when
experience.
I'm listening. Nice.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, it's just such a jam of mine. That would be my obsession this week, as I have not stopped listening to that song.
It's just
baby,
so...
one hot I can really, really feel it.
I love how
Sorry.
it's fucking... Like, let alone the music is so good. Just the story of these albums
Yeah.
is so... It's such an interesting take on... like combination of like hip hop and sci-fi culture.
Yeah.
Like the whole Good Morning Midnight interludes in Electric
Yeah.
Lady, where it's like this android hip hop radio show, is so fucking cool. Like, what a cool idea.
So cool.
What a good way
So
to like
cool.
mix your interests and like your background and experience into something like a compelling piece of art.
Interest is a really interesting word, because I'm like, this feels like it goes beyond interest. I'm like, she's like
that's true.
totally got an android kink
Yes,
going on.
absolutely. You're right. That's a good point.
No doubt. She's
doubt,
like
no doubt.
deep into it. So good.
So
Anyway.
what have you been so busy with? Though?
Oh yeah, so I had to do really late tonight. I mean, I didn't mean to do so late, but another thing is that, again, this is like a repeat, but kind of serendipitously, I started working with this guy at work, and we just kind of realized that we both are musicians, and he had sent me his site, I sent him mine, and he was really interested in getting together to play together, and he really liked my music, and so we were playing tonight. We met and at his place, and we're playing music.
Oh, cool.
And it was really great. He's a really good musician, and I was really excited about playing together and playing like my songs, like and adding like accompanying me and harmony and guitar and piano and all of the things, which is really cool. And it was like time flew. Like I checked my phone, thinking it was probably 7, and it was like 8:30, and I was like, oh no, I have to go. And so I got home a lot later than I expected, and then hadn't eaten dinner and hadn't caught up with Molly, and so that's why I had to do tonight. So I'm also like really been playing a lot of music too. So, but these are all just stupid repeat obsessions. And additionally, not only have I really been into things that we've already fucking talked about, not an original thing, every new kind of thing that I thought could potentially be an obsession, I haven't had enough time with. So like I'm starting a new show, but I haven't made my mind up about it yet. I'm reading a book that I haven't had time to like really delve into, even though I'm interested in it. And oh man, I was really hoping this would be one. I was almost minorly obsessed with my brother Matthew, my big brother, gave me not 1, not 2, but 3 Dominion expansion packs.
Holy shit.
And I was like, get ready, Obsession Town. But I've only gotten Molly to play with me one time, so it was a lot of fun, but I didn't feel like... So my obsession has been asking Molly if she'll play Dominion with me. But I'm hoping that we can play a little bit this weekend. If you're listening, Molly, let's play Dominion. Okay. Way too broad.
Threedom.
Way too broad.
We played Dominion this week for the first time in a long time.
How frickin' was it?
It's so good. I won the first time and I lost real bad the second time. And then I was supposed to go to bed, but instead we watched my first episode of the show that I talked about earlier.
Oh, there you
Your
go.
first episode.
Your first episode.
My first episode.
The first episode.
Yeah.
I feel like this was bound to happen at some point with one of us, Erin. I think you just happened to be the first.
I was thinking, I was listening to last week's, I was like, it's like we're having a who's busiest contest right now.
I'm just not like necessarily busy. It's just like, I don't know. Busy's maybe the word. It's just like, yeah. But it's always been like something that we can talk about. But I'm like, all my busy was like the same busy that it was like.
Yeah.
You know, there was no new busy.
No new busyness.
Right.
That's okay.
Thanks. I was gonna say something else about the new Dominion expansion pack. The one we played with was really fun. We had to call my brother and ask him about a card, though. But maybe that's not what I was gonna say.
He didn't make it, you know.
I know, but he did have an answer ready, and it was nice. Him and Kate. Shoutouts to my brother and Kate. If you're listening, thank you so much for the Dominion expansion packs. Feeling really excited. Molly, if you're listening to this, let's play Dominion tonight, okay?
Was that his birthday present to you?
No, he just gave it to me. They gave me a really nice set of measuring cups made out of copper, I believe.
Oh, cool.
They're really beautiful and lovely. But this was just, he like texted me and he was like, hey, do you want any of these? And I was like, oh.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Oh, what I was going to say about Dominion is that Molly beats me almost all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Almost always. Maybe I win 15% of the time.
She was really good, like, right away.
Yeah, she's really fucking smart. Don't even fuck with her.
She's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's one thought that I'm having. Once you get into the jam of things with this jam man.
That's his name. How'd you know?
Jam man. You should record some of your songs that you get tight, and then you could play them for us.
Yeah, I think he wants to do a little rough recording next time.
Cool.
Something. So, yeah. But that's a good idea. I'll do that and share along.
Yeah. That's neat. That's pretty exciting. I think it'd be cool to get a nice collabo going.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is not really, I'm excited to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta tell you guys, this is episode 31.
Wow.
Erin's got Jimmy Neutron hair.
Yeah, check it out. I used way too much product today, you guys. What do you have to tell us? This is the last episode?
No.
Okay,
I just
good. I thought you were breaking up with us in a podcast way.
I was messaging you earlier because I was going back and listening to some older episodes, and I was just really enjoying them. I feel like the point I'm at now is that, like, when I listen to the episode that I just edited, I think I'm too in my head about it. But then when I went back and listened like about 8 or 9 episodes back, and it was like really fun listening, and it made me feel really good about where we're going with this ear snack. And I don't think we'll always be so busy.
Oh, I think we're doing great.
Me too.
I hope to have a relaxing summer.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
How are we going to tackle the time difference, though? Oh, you know what? Actually, I came up with a solution. Gonna answer my own question. Ben, we decided this without you. But in order to tackle the time difference for when you moved to California...
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, this is the first time we're officially announcing that on the podcast.
Do you want to
sorry.
do that?
You can cut that out.
I don't care. No, that's fine.
Why don't you tell everybody then before Erin tells everyone the solution?
I'm moving to California to go to grad school.
Where?
At UC Irvine.
Cool.
Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, we decided to make the podcast work. What you're going to do is stay on East Coast time.
Oh, yeah.
100% of your time.
Oh, all right.
100% of your life.
Yeah.
And then you'll have no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So...
I'll write you a note for your instructors to let them know.
Get my schedule in EST.
Yep. Dear sirs and madams, Benjamin will be strictly observing East Coast time.
I feel like the time difference will be fine. We'll probably just have to end up recording on weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Because otherwise it might end up being too late for you guys if we do it during the week.
Did you say, I'm sure weekend?
I sort of did.
Yeah, we could record at like 10 p.m. on Fridays. And that would be...
Perfect.
For Ben, 9, 8, 7 o'clock.
We can figure it out. I'm not worried about it. I also, like, you could find that there's, like, all, like... I don't know if this happens with grad school, but certainly with undergrad, there would be like, oh, shit, my entire Thursday is empty. And then, like, you just, if there's a situation like that, we'll take advantage of it.
I doubt that would happen with grad school.
Fuck you, Ben.
But
hey, Ben.
Hey.
Fuck you.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, Ben.
Way too broad.
Way too broad.
All right. So... Let's not do homework. Let's talk about what our homework is.
For you to do.
All
Ben,
right, here's
out
my
homework.
My homework is to go on your favorite podcast app, whether it be Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go to the page for either Comedy Bang Bang or Spontateanation or with special guest Lauren Lapkus. On all 3 of those feeds, you'll be able to find the first episode of Threedom. I think they all put it as like episode 0.5.
Yeah.
And that way you can listen to the first episode for free. And in that episode, they'll explain how to get a month free of Stitcher Premium to listen to more if you want.
But just wait until they have more out so you can binge them.
Yeah, there's other good stuff on Stitcher Premium, though. Like all the Earwolf stuff that's behind the paywall.
But to Hannah's point, when she said she doesn't like the app, so why would she pay for it? It's like our grandma used to say, why would you buy the milk if you fucking hate the cow? For free.
For that way, that expression actually makes sense. Did I ever tell you about the time that somebody said that to me? And I turned to, it was like at work, I think, too. And I was like, I don't remember the context, but I just turned around. I was like barely in the conversation. I just turned around and I was like, because you love the cow.
Why would the cow need a fucking farmer or somebody to drink their milk? I'm going to work on that.
My Twitter is @AnyDiscoGreg. post pictures of my cat a lot. He's very, very cute. Today he
cute.
Slept on his back and I pet his soft belly.
So nice.
Very nice. Good boy.
Chromo.
Chromo. I've been calling him Chromo a lot, and Kylie does not like it.
She doesn't?
No. She
Sorry,
keeps
Kylie.
saying like that he's gonna think that's his name.
Oh no, Chromo.
If you need 10 quarters immediately and all at once, call Ben.
Call Ben.
Yep.
Call Ben
Call
for 10.
Call 10 quarter 10. Yeah, call Ben
Call
for 10.
10 quarter Ben. Okay.
Ben 10 quarters.
Ben 10 quarters, yeah. My homework for you guys is to go on Netflix and find the show called Money for Nothing and watch it and just be totally charmed by all the people except Jay Blades. I'm not a huge fan of Jay Blades. His intro part is
That's not a real name.
It's not. It's totally definitely not. And he's got two like silver plated front teeth, and he's got like this studio with birds in it, and he like real just around, and he fucking works with wood, and he's like, if I don't care much about what people think, if I like it, it's good. And I'm like, fuck off, Jay.
Fuck off.
Blades.
You're named after like a shitty trend. Remember Beyblades?
Fucking love Beyblades.
Yeah, who fucking didn't? But like, where are they now?
True.
Where are your Beyblades? Where are your beloved Beyblades now?
Jay.
Ben.
And yeah, and then like maybe try to upcycle something sometime. Could be fun. Or it could end up being garbage in your garage. That's the fun. Okay. And my Twitter is at Anthropology. Erin.
Okay. Well, I don't really have homework because I didn't really have an obsession, but here are some things you could do. Listen to Janelle Monae. Okay. The end. My Twitter is at Erin Burr, and I review lesbian movies at LesbianMovieReviews on Instagram. Fun milestone that I reached this week is that I now have more followers than people I'm following. So that's exciting.
Nice.
That's exciting. I'm going to make this a new part of my outro, which is simply that Janelle Monae is an artist, and I'm done.
Oh, also, I have another podcast. It's called So Dreamy, and it's about dreams, and it's a good time. You should listen to it. Erin submits dreams. They're often very funny.
Oh,
sometimes very intense.
Yeah, and I had another one that I didn't record. I meant to.
Your episode, I think we did an episode with Erin and Molly, and it's coming out I think next week or this week.
Cool.
Same time as this episode. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So that's fun.
So stop listening to this one right now.
You could. It's almost over. It's
I
fine.
know, that's why I was laughing so hard.
Oh, I see.
And go listen to the other one.
Was that was it. Okay, so if you want to email us or contact us, you could email us at waytoobroad@gmail.com. You could also tweet at us at toobroadpod, TOO broadpod. You could join our Facebook group, although Erin's not in there.
So why bother?
I also deleted
So why bother?
My Facebook app off my phone, so I'm also not in there often.
So if you want to reach me, you could join our Facebook group. And
if you have an email address, then you can email us.
maybe you could join our Facebook group and let us know if you have an email address. And as always, please leave us a review on iTunes if you are enjoying yourself here right now. Or if you were earlier. This part's not the most interesting part. So, thanks for listening.
They rate like individual minutes of the episode.
Do we have any emails from people who may or may not have email addresses?
No emails from anybody. So everybody have a great week. We'll talk at you again next week. We love you. And now the podcast candle is extinguished. And it's 11:56 p.m. I should be.
Way too broad.
Way too broad.